I was self-employed doing housekeeping, being a maid. Business was great, but then after my mom died, it's like 2 or 3 weeks after, I lost all my clientele. So I, scrambled around trying to figure out what to do.
Ultimately, she opted to leave the apartment complex.
Before I got served with anything, I was gone. Emptied the property, left it clean, gave him the keys.
But the paperwork was already in the system, and nearly 2 years later, she says, is still impacting her ability to find another place to live.
But once I tell them, I'm about to pay off an eviction, they're like, oh no, we can't have an eviction, like, ever.
It's stories like Cook's that led to Oklahoma Senate Democratic leader Julia Kurt filing 2 fair housing bills. B 128 would lengthen the time between when a tenant is served a court summons to their eviction hearing from 5 to 10 days.
I don't want it to become where people can stay in a place forever without paying. That's not fair to anyone. But we know that these quick processes are tough on families and tough on our community.
Data that Katie Dilks, the executive director of the Oklahoma Access to Justice Foundation, has analyzed shows around 50% of the eviction cases that end up in court are dismissed.
So in some way, the landlord has been satisfied, right? They're either satisfied because the rent has been paid, they've worked out a payment agreement, or because the tenant has left.
And that's where Kurt says SB 815 comes into play. It would require records to be sealed immediately if an eviction case is dismissed or found in favor of the defendant. All other cases would be sealed after 2 years.
Because sometimes people have that on their record from 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and still limiting them from getting a good job.
Or a place to live.